Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Employment Wednesdays. And today we're seated with one of your faves, Uspoga Zimbandlwa, a Wits graduate and Bachelor of Arts, majoring in Media Studies and Organizational Psychology. So, do you like organizing it? Like, do you sector the brain?
Oh, no, it's not even like that, actually.
Okay, short, simple, and sweet. She currently works for an NGO as a social media manager. I think those are one of the in careers. I mean, if you asked a person about 6 years ago about being a social media manager, they would have said, what? What are you talking about? What does a social media manager do? But today she is going to tell us all about her journey and her experiences leading to a career. Did I miss anything that you want to tell us?
No, I just want to add what you said about 6 years ago, there wouldn't be a career like this. Absolutely. And it's so funny because, like, my mom still doesn't really know what I do.
I can imagine.
I remember when I first started, she'll ask me, oh, so do you just sit and, like, check Facebook all day? I'm like, no. Part of it, yes, but not necessarily, no.
Yeah, I can imagine how cool your job is, but you're going to tell us all about it as we go into it. Let's start with the icebreakers.
Okay.
Where the tea is spilled.
Okay.
How much do you get paid? Jokes.
Whoa.
So the
I really have to say that.
So the first one would be if one must go, right, and why?
Okay.
Jeans or long dresses?
Jeans.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel so much more comfortable wearing jeans.
Okay.
I've always been a jeans girl. Like,
okay. So
I'm wearing
the
dress
long
today.
dresses should go.
I love long dresses. It's funny, like I'm about to say I don't like short dresses because I'm wearing one right now. But definitely jeans. I'm just way more comfortable in them.
Okay, so long dresses can go.
Yeah. they
Okay,
can go.
cool. And then pastry skincare products or tulips? Which ones must go?
I'm going to say pastry because I don't know. Oh, tulips, the flowers.
Yes, the flowers.
Oh, I love my flowers, but like I need moisture in my skin.
So the flowers can go.
Yeah, they can go.
Okay, pastry must send a girl some package.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then if you were top of drink, what drink would you be and why?
If I was a drink, I would be. Ooh, I'm thinking about it. I would be a cappuccino.
Okay.
Basic, but like very comforting and warm.
All right.
I feel like that's me.
Okay,
inside.
I love that. And then Pilates or walking?
Ooh, girl, you have studied me. I love both. I'm going to say Pilates.
Okay.
I love walking, but like getting myself to go on the walk is
It
always
takes
the
a
hard
lot.
part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what song can you sing word for word?
You're a lot, eh?
One, the one that's your favorite. Like if I wake you up 5 a.m., I'm like, hey, 100 million is at stake.
Yeah.
Let's sing the song.
Brandy, best friend.
Okay, give us 2 stanzas.
Don't know what I ever do without you from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, we would take that 100 mil home. All right, so now we're going to jump into the bit serious stuff.
Okay.
High school, did you do it in Joburg or you didn't
No,
visit
I
it?
actually went to high school in Durban. I went
Okay.
to Durban Academy. Yeah, my school life was fun. I
Yes,
enjoyed
because I was
high
about to.
school.
Yeah, let's go into that.
Yeah.
How was high school for you?
High school was very nice. I enjoyed it. Like, the fat chats, the laughs. I don't think I was ever like too serious
Okay.
about it. Yeah, so I had a time, man.
Okay, you're very
Yeah.
relaxed. What is your fondest memory of your high school life?
My high school life. I remember in grade 8, my best friend and I were a bit dorky. And we had like a telephone, you know those telecom telephone stands. there were times where we'd just hang out there during breaks and just like try and prank call people, try and call our parents during lunch. And we weren't supposed to be in that area. So the prefects were always on our case. You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Move. But I guess that's one of the memories. Like I had a ball. I
That's
loved
nice.
it. Yeah.
You remind me
Oh,
of...
and then another thing, my high school is not that far from the beach.
Okay.
So there was a thing called a summer walk. Every year we were supposed to go on it, but like as the years went by, we stopped for some reason. But that year we walked from like my high school to the beach. So that was very fun for me because it was my first time like in that area in grade 8. And I was like, this is so cool. Like we can just walk to the beach.
Love that. Dream life. So dreamy.
Absolutely.
So now that you had a fun high school, what did you want to be in high school?
To be honest, growing up, I used to sketch a lot, like a lot of drawings. And my mom she's a dressmaker. I don't want to say fashion designer because she makes school uniforms. So like I always just said, oh, I'm going to be a fashion designer.
Sure.
And then at some point it changed. My mom like would encourage me to like do acting. And I was like, okay.
All right.
Acting. And funny enough, I wanted to change high schools because my school didn't have drama.
Okay.
And the school I wanted to go to had. So she was like, she's always been so supportive of whatever it is. She's never been one of those parents who are like, you're going to do maths, you're going to do accounting.
Sure.
Like I did accounting at some point and I actually did well, but I had to drop it because I didn't do maths. Suck at maths. And they were like, girl, you can't do accounting with no maths.
Sure.
So I had to drop accounting and I took history. But yeah, at some point I wanted to do drama and then that dream fell away, I guess. And like growing up, it was always just fashion designer and something in the entertainment space, I guess. And then, funny story, when I was applying, I actually didn't want to go to university.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to, like, I've always just been about, like, I don't want stress. Like,
Soft. You want soft.
I just want
like,
to chill and still make it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll go to Varsity College. I'll go to the one by North Beach.
Sure.
Durban North, sorry. Because, I just want to be close to the beach and, you know, I still want to be home. My one friend was at Wits at the time during her first year. So for the holidays, she came and she's like, oh, so what's the plan for next year?
Sure.
Varsity College. She's like, no. And then she came to visit my house this one time. And she was like to my mom, suppose you can't go there. That's like, I don't know, like it's not even like a good place. I'm so sorry to anyone that's been to Varsity College.
Yeah.
She wasn't being mean. She just she wanted me to just go to Wits. So she's like,
I mean, Vitzes are like that. Like, to them, it's Vitz or nothing. Like, when they see us, they call us the high school down the road. Like, it's like,
So she was like, no, I'll send application forms. She must just apply. So when she sent the application forms, I never read the prospectus, right?
Okay.
Because in my head, I was like, I know what I want. It's always been something in the arts or entertainment. So I didn't read the prospectus. When I got to the application form, I saw you have to choose 3 options. I was like, oh, okay. First one's going to be drama and music because I like music.
Sure.
And then I was like, third one, I don't know. I see Bachelor of Arts in general. Let me just choose that. So come auditions time.
You guys actually had to audition?
Yeah, we had to audition for drama and music.
Okay.
And my friends are asking me, they're like, oh, so are you going to the auditions? Mina, you little miss, so smart. I'm like, no, I'm not going. Also, I don't think you have to go if you're not from Joburg.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously there's so many people applying from different, like, places in the country. So surely it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, when it came down to it, they obviously didn't take me for drama and music. And then
Because you didn't show up for the auditions
because I didn't show up. They literally rejected me. But I kept checking, like, towards the end of, like, the matric year. I kept checking, and I saw that one option was still, like, you know, giving me provisional offer. And then, it was saying under consideration. So, fine, I got rejected, rather, for drama and music. And, funny story, I did apply for Varsity College.
Okay.
But
so against your friend's advice, you still
I
went
did
ahead.
both. I was like, let me just have both in mind. So when they were registering there, we had to have like 20K, like cash.
Oh yes, because it's a private college.
Yeah.
That's another disadvantage with private colleges because
Exactly.
you need to have a huge lump sum.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, we're just gonna, because my mom had some savings.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh, okay. We literally went there day before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we'd like to withdraw that money. Like, I promise you, I thought I'm so smart. I was
Yeah.
17 and I thought I just knew everything.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we'd like to withdraw the money. They're like, yeah, you have to wait 7 days.
Yes, it was like in that savings account
Yeah,
where
I
you
was like,
yeah.
And back then, I don't know, like now I know I could have just said, oh, okay, we'll still go and register and just let them know that it's going to come in after 7 days. But back then, I thought my world is over.
Sure.
I was crying. I was like, oh, it's done
It's
for
going
me.
to happen, yeah.
And luckily, I had secured a job at Hilton Hotel in Durban.
Okay.
Because I did hospitality in my high school years. And like towards the end of like my finals, I went around just applying for jobs.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I want to make money this December. I'm going to apply. And I had no plan. I had that old CV template name.
Okay. You're just
Hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went around the different hotels in Durban applying for jobs. And obviously I didn't get in the other companies. I got to Hilton. And the security lady was like, are you here for the interview? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, you're going to go in the lift and press. I forgot what she said I must press. I went in there, and because I did hospitality, they gave me a test, which I obviously aced. And they're like, oh, great, you got
Let's
the job.
do this.
You can come in next week for your uniform and stuff. I was like, I'm still writing finals. They're like, oh, okay, you'd rather just come back and Jan. I was like,
Okay.
this lady, does she know me?
Yeah.
I'm really going to come back. So after after finals and getting matric results and all of that, I obviously didn't get in at varsity college because I thought my world is over. And I was like, okay, I guess it's a gap year then. I'm just going to work at the Hilton.
Sure.
And then literally, I think like a week in, I get a call from Vits and they're like, yeah, you got an offer. You can come through. I was like, oh, okay. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to do Bachelor of Arts in general. Remember, I didn't read the prospectus.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in general, like, I can do it all.
Yes.
Drama, music,
Yes, superstar, mix of everything.
Like,
yeah.
this is actually, like, this is a better option. I get to do all of these things.
Sure.
Do I not get there? And I get handed this document. I'm seeing philosophy, politics, psychology, media. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So to everyone out there, if you're in matric or whatever year you're in high school, please read your prospectus.
Sure. Love that.
Yeah.
And you know what I love, Ned, just to interject, is that you were willing. I love your flexibility. You know, there's a book that a lot of people recommend. From the title, I think it speaks to your personality. It's called Flow.
Oh, okay.
Like you, from what you're telling me, you're a person that's willing to flow as long as you're able to exercise your talents, your abilities. Because I mean, at 17, most of us are taught you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be an accountant. And a special shout out to your mom for supporting every personality or diversity inside of you to say, you know what, you want to do this, you can do this. So you can imagine at that age, you're saying, I'm happy staying at home. I'm happy to go work at a hotel in hospitality.
Listen,
because I mean, if
my mom's support has been everything, like from high school up until now in my career. Like I could wake up now and tell her, hey, I got a job overseas. This is what I'm going to be doing. And I need you to support me. And she'll be like, okay.
A really special shout out to her. Hey, we need
shout out,
more parents like her, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, now that you have gotten into it, how was the transition from high school into it at Joburg? Had you been to Joburg previously?
I hadn't.
Yeah, so now you're moving from KZN to Joburg, like to this big city.
Yeah.
How was that like? Were you ready for it?
I wasn't, because I had always seen Joburg in like TV, like shows and stuff. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So my first year, like, I mean, I came in, I did have some, like, I was always independent. So me coming into Joburg, angzanga ngokupapa, like,
Okay.
oh, new city, like we're gonna go wild. No,
Sure.
I've always had freedom, even at home. So I didn't come in with that thing of, oh, I need to explore everything. Like,
Sure.
I'm new. I just came in. I was like, I don't like the city. I'm just here to study.
Sure.
And I promise you, my first year, every opportunity to go home, I was
You
out.
left, really?
Yeah, like those short holidays, I was always like, booking a bus. Back then, I used to take a bus. So yeah, my first year coming in, like I obviously ended up choosing media studies
Sure.
and psychology and English and history, I think, in my first year. So the English and history were just like electives.
Sure.
And media studies and psychology were my majors. So I did like the normal psychology. In first year, we all do the same psychology. And I think in second year, that's when we sort of like branch off. So I went into organizational psychology. And no, organizational psychology, it's more like businessy psychology. It's not like your typical psychology that deals with, looking at the brain.
Organization is an organization.
So
not
another word
ukota.
for it is in the industrial
Oh,
psychology.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I
So
hear
I
you.
did industrial psychology.
Okay. All
In my
right.
head, I was like, I did business studies in high school. Makes sense to just do this. I'm not really ready to deal with all these other things in the other psych. So I chose that. And yeah, like in first year, I think I did pretty okay for a person who didn't even think I would be at Wits.
Okay.
But I will say, like looking back at my university years, one thing I would say is that when I look back, I don't feel like I did a lot.
Okay.
Like I always look back and I'm like, I wish I just gave in more.
More. Yes.
Like I just, my advice to whoever's in varsity is like, just push yourself. Push yourself to do your ultimate best and like to the very best of your like abilities. Because for me, I knew I could do more, but I was just okay. Like if
You were doing bare minimum.
yeah,
And just doing it well
I was like,
and just cruising.
ngipasile. I don't care if it's 16.
Okay.
Ngipasile, yabo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one of my like regrets, not doing the most. But any case, I graduated.
Okay, right.
So that's good. And then after graduation, because also throughout my varsity years, the question at home would be, oh, so like, where's this degree taking you? Like,
Because
what are you
I was
gonna...
going to ask, what do
Yeah.
you then do after Bachelor of Arts and majoring in media
Honestly,
studies?
I didn't know. My mom would
Okay.
ask me, oh, so media studies, like, what are you gonna do? And I honestly didn't have an answer for her. I'd always just say, something in media, like I can do news.
And is it that easy to say I can do news? You were just
I
speculating?
was just saying.
Okay.
Like, I think the same 17-year-old who just thought things and figured out in her head, was, yeah, that should work.
Sure.
So I've always just laid with that. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do something in the media, like news, radio, anything in the media.
Sure.
I'm doing media studies. Anyways, I graduate and now I'm faced with reality like, sure, okay, I don't have any practical experience really. Because unlike your Vegas, if you go to Vega, you get a lot of opportunities to like dabble in some of the actual work, like the practical work. At Wits, there was none of that. It was mostly theory, looking at like stuff that's happening in the current space, like in the current affairs. So now I was hit with the reality, like, whoa,
What do I do now?
what do I do now? And I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed to say this because I literally just reached out to like a family friend. I was like, hey, I'm looking for a job.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, you have media studies, so why not do, our social media page? I was like, okay, cool.
Really?
run it,
This
yeah.
is how it started?
Yeah. So, yeah, I worked for like the company. It's a big hair company now. And at the time, I also reached out to a friend and I was like, hey, I'm looking for work. Because in as much as I appreciated the opportunity from them, I just felt like I want to do more.
Sure.
So I reached out to a friend and also like, I don't know, like God just works in mysterious ways. The friend was actually best friends with a CEO of a big advertising agency at that time. So my friend was like, I'll chat to him and then I'll let you know what he says.
Sure.
So she tells me, yeah, he's keen. He's going to call you. Just read up about the company and the work they do.
Sure.
And go, I mean, angila, kulu. So I did my research. And when the guy called, I was just going on.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I saw you guys do this. It's so interesting. I would like to do that. And I was like, listen, I don't have a job for you, but I can organize for like a job shadowing.
Oh, okay.
So they asked me, what are you currently doing? I'm like, oh, I'm a social media manager. It's like, okay, I'm going to organize for shadowing for the social media manager. So I shadowed that social media manager at that agency.
Okay.
And after that month, the shadowing was over and I wasn't finding a job. And I left the hair company.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, it's time to regroup. Let's pack out things and go back to Durban.
Really?
I went back home.
You went back? Okay.
Yeah. This is now like in July. I graduated April of 2018. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go home and I'll figure it out. Literally, the first thing I did that week when I got home, Googled advertising agencies in Durban. And literally the first one that popped up, I'm very big on reviews.
Sure.
So I looked at reviews. I was like, good enough. I went to their website and they had like I want to work for, and you put in your stuff there.
Okay.
Put in my stuff and they called me for an interview. I was like,
Let's go.
great. So I got my first like advertising gig at that agency in Durban, and it was amazing. Like I stayed there for like just a little over a year, and I had the best time learning about this agency. Also from the shadowing, I knew like these are my people.
Sure.
Like everyone is so free, it's so creative. You get to wear what you want. Because I always knew like I'm not very corporate-y like that. I'm not gonna survive in suits and shirts and ties. I hated a tie in high school. I was like, I can't do anything too serious. I need something that's just gonna be serious enough, but like also
light, very cool.
Yeah, something that can come into my world. You know? And when I walked into that agency, it's a big agency, people were wearing like cool sneakers and colorful clothing, and like there was popcorn. I was like,
this is where it's at.
I want this.
Sure.
And true enough, when I started my agency in Durban, it was the same. Like people wearing shorts, and like my bosses were so cool. When it's like super hot, because we were near a beach, they'd be like, guys, who wants to go to the beach? I have shorts. And I was like, does this work? Like my first job was a ball. I had the best time. But soon enough, I was like, okay, I need to go back to that Johannesburg and try to make a name for myself.
Sure.
So I left the first agency and I started another agency, a bigger one this time. And me starting at that agency, like I was very grateful for the opportunity, but I was just like, it's a very big transition for me because I come from a small agency where we're also like linked. And now I'm moving into this big agency. And on top of that, COVID came in 2020. And I was like, none of this is making sense. And I literally, I wouldn't say playing around. I was just on LinkedIn. Like, you know when you have one of those frustrating days and you're like, I need to go.
Yeah.
And I did that and I applied for a job. And then they called me. They're like, yeah, we'd like to interview. I was like,
that soon?
okay. And then we went to the interview stages. And then eventually they're like, oh, we'd like you to meet the client. It's like, cool. I met the client. And then after the meeting, I'm like, sorry, did I get the job? He's like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to let you know you got the job.
Sure.
So now because of COVID and everything that was going on here in Joburg, I was like, actually, I'm going back. So this is like 3 months in. I was like, okay, I'm leaving here. I went back to that company. Well, I went to that company in Durban. And that was a contract, so I stayed there for a year. And when that ended, I was lucky enough to get a fully remote job for an NGO. It was my first NGO. I don't mind naming them.
Okay, yeah.
It's so amazing. I got to work for Digify Africa.
Okay.
So when I was at Digify Africa, I was a social media there, social media manager there, sorry. So I did that. It was also a contract for about 6 months. And then towards the end of the 6 months, I started panicking because I'm like, What's gonna happen? So I started applying out of like just, anxiety. And I got a job at a PR company.
Sure.
And literally that same day when I got an offer, Digify was like, oh, you're renewing your contract. I'm like, guys.
Goodness.
But I had to choose. I was like, I'm faced with a contract yet again and permanent offer. I was like, I'm going to have to take the permanent.
Sure.
Love you guys, but gotta leave.
Have to look long term. Sure.
So this is me coming back to Joburg again. This is now 2022.
Okay.
And I mean, I got to learn so much at that place, but a PR wasn't necessarily my thing.
Sure.
But I got to learn so much. I think that's the one job that pushed me, like for real, because I was doing things outside of my scope. In the moment, it was very frustrating.
Sure.
Because I was like, I'm not a designer, I'm not a writer, and I had to do so many of these things. But I look back and I'm like, I learned so much in doing that,
Sure.
So I was wearing a lot of hats and it was very frustrating, I will say. But I got to learn so much. And because also I just struggle with anxiety and I couldn't stay too long there because, like I said, it was very frustrating in the moment.
Yes.
So I left that permanent job and I was lucky enough to find a job at a TV production company.
Okay.
So that was fun. I loved it.
I love how your face lit up.
Yeah,
Like it was
fully
really fun.
remote, but at the end of it all, I was like, I'm not going to grow here.
Yeah.
And it was real for me when I spoke to a colleague of mine. And I was like, I can promise you now, I'm doing the same thing I was doing 5 years ago. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's not what I want. I mean, at that point, this is last year. So I was only, 26. I'm like, I'm too young to be this
To conform. Yeah.
Yeah, I need something a bit more challenging. So I started applying once again and I got an offer at another advertising agency, like a big one, working with a big brand that is very hectic. Like I was warned. My manager, when I was still in the interview stages, he was like, this is very hectic. Like it's a very hectic account. We're letting you know straight up. I was like, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was like, I'm leaving the TV production job in as much as I like it because I need something more challenging. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. And I took that on and you know what? It was hectic, but I actually enjoyed it so much and I loved it. And I got along well with client and everyone in the agency. And that was amazing. Like, I actually got what I wanted from it. I knew it was a contract as well, I was told beforehand. And I learned so much and I grew. And I was like, great, this is what I wanted. And then where to next? Because that's always been me. I've never been like bummed if something doesn't go that way. Because I'm always open to like new things and establishing myself in this field. And seeing what exactly is it that I want before I settle and say, okay, I'm going to do this for the next 10 years, you know? So after that contract ended this year, I got another job.
All right.
At an NGO. So I currently work for an NGO that is big on women advancement. We don't like the word empowerment.
Yes. I went to an interview. No, it wasn't an interview. I attended Male and Guidance event last year, right? Power of Women. And then one lady dismantled the whole thing of saying empower. It's undermining because it's like empower, then what?
Exactly.
Give me the power, then what am I supposed to do with the power?
No,
so
definitely.
I completely agree with that.
So we at my NGO, we don't like the word empowerment.
Yeah.
Because we believe women are already empowered.
Yes, they already possess a big power.
Exactly. So we just like to say women support and children. So a lot of what we do now is we have this cohort, like this program that calls women entrepreneurs, and we help them with like skills that they need to like level up their businesses. We put them in positions with like investors and get them ready for like pitches and things like that. So that's currently what I do in the agency, well, not agency, sorry, in the trust. I support them with like getting all the communication stuff out on social media. So that's been my journey, and that's where I'm at right now. And currently I'm enjoying it. It is challenging. It is a lot, but it's exactly what I wanted, because after I left my previous agency, I said to myself, I need something a little on the fulfilling side.
Sure.
Like after my first experience with my previous NGO, Digify, I was like, I need something else.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm currently at Grasha Michelle Trust.
Yes, because I was also about to ask,
Yeah.
where do people apply if they
Yeah.
wanted to know more about your NGO, you know,
Yes,
to partake in
so-
the skills advancement program or cohort that you guys
Yeah.
do?
So I'm currently at Grasha Michelle Trust, and we have a program called Women Creating Wealth.
Okay.
Actually, the applications for the next cohort are open right
All
now.
right.
I just don't know when this is
When
going to
do
come
they
out.
close?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that
I'm
this
gonna
goes
double
out
check.
ASP so that
Yeah.
we align with the dates of closure.
Yeah. So if you're an entrepreneur and you need like just help with your business and just navigating everything, that's what we do. You have all these different like amazing facilitators and teachers to get you in classes, learning how to manage finances for your business, learning how to navigate balancing your work life and your personal life, how to prepare like a procurement pitch and all of those things.
Sure.
So they help you that. We actually had an investor showcase where they brought in all these investors and people had to pitch their businesses, which I thought was so amazing.
Yeah.
And for me, hearing that a person got like 100 million from like the funders, I was like,
Sure.
what we're doing is so amazing.
Yeah, it
you
is
know?
amazing.
Because like African women are so powerful and
Yeah.
we're so knowledgeable and we do so much.
And very
So
talented.
it's very unfair that, a lot of the times you hear of a business that's owned by a man. So that's what we do. And yeah, currently there.
I love that your
Yeah.
career journey is very inspiring. I think one of the two important things I pick up is never be afraid of change.
Definitely.
Never be afraid of change. Never be afraid of going back where you started because you're able to regroup. I love how, and I think that's why I'd say special shout out to your mom or your family for the support. Like it's always important whenever you feel like it's not working out, tap out, regroup, pause, figure out things and go back to the match, and you always come out better. And then I also love how you're very hands-on with your career and you seem like a person that's very in tune with who they are. When you feel out of place or misplaced, you're ready to start applying. And Google is your friend. I love how you like, you know what, I went on Google, searched, guys, use Google. And I think in alignment with Google, use Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages has like a number of companies. So you can just say Yellow Pages, whatever industry that you're in, you get their telephone numbers, you call them if you have airtime, or you write them emails, or you do door to door, whatever works for you. If they have websites, you contact them accordingly. I really love that you actually put in the effort. And also in putting in the effort, I think that's a skill I need to learn from you. I need to keep you close to say, it's okay for things not to work out. Because I think I struggle with the idea of things not working out the way I plan in my mind. But I love that you were like, you know what, I want this. But also, I'm okay with it not working out. And when it stresses me, I leave.
Yeah. So I'm very big on faith and I always lead where God takes me.
Sure.
So I'm always like, God, if it's in your will, I'm happy. As long as you are driving this this truck.
I love
I
that.
know I'm saying truck. Could be a Lambo.
I really love that.
So I'm always just like, if it's meant to be like just, and when I feel like, okay, this is making me uncomfortable or it's just challenging me in a way that I cannot maybe handle. It's like, okay, God, let's pivot. Let's see, what's
out
next.
there.
So I'm always open to change, knowing that God is directing everything for me. And I pray about things as well a lot. Like I never go into applying just out of my head. Like for me to even get to that point, I must have prayed about that thing for a while. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Yeah.
Okay. Really love that about you.
And I would say to anyone looking to getting into my field, when I started off, I didn't know a lot of the positions and things. Because remember, my education was very like theory based, as opposed to a person that went to Vega. They know, in this industry you have account managers, you have account directors, all of these different positions that I didn't know about. So when I started off, I think there's a website called Mark Lives.
Sure.
There's Biz Community. So things like that helped me greatly because now I started learning about the different positions.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So I somehow am still doing social media management that I've been doing for the past like 5 years. But I will say I'm looking to sort of pivot
Okay.
where I am currently. But I'm starting to like want to pivot because I feel like I've been doing social media for 5 years now. And I think I've learned everything. And with that, I'm not just a social media manager. There's so much I do outside of my scope.
Sure.
And I'm like, the time is now. So I'm looking to pivot into like a marketing manager.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And I wish you all the best in that. You're probably
Thanks,
going
girl.
to succeed at it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're about to close our conversation. It feels very short. So before I close, it would be injustice to the people at home if I don't ask you this, right? You tried dodging my question in the beginning to say how much do you get paid, but I'm not going to ask you that because I saw the eye you gave me. Like looking at financial stability in terms of being a social media manager, is it good? Like maybe for a person that's starting, you don't have to tell me how much you get paid. A person that's starting, what are they looking at? Like what salary range are they looking
girl.
at?
I will tell you, it's been a journey.
Sure.
Salary wise, like I'm where I am now, but I had to start with some crazy.
Maybe tell us you're crazy so that a person knows where to build up.
Like I'm always so embarrassed when I tell even my other friends within like the industry, and I tell them how much I started. They're like,
What do you mean?
"That's so little."
Yeah.
But I think for me, I didn't mind taking that small amount. For
Sure.
me, it was good enough at the time. And my main thing was, I just want my foot in.
Yeah.
And then I'm a person who, I don't mind building
Sure.
from where I am. Like even now, now I'm going to say my salary.
No, don't say it. Ne?
Yeah.
Just
So I'm
a
5 years
range.
in, and I would say my range is about 4 to 450.
per annum.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Mastata Angela.
I don't know about that, but
No, but I feel like that's decent. But also, like you
it
said,
depends also
yes.
with experience. And one thing I would say to people looking to apply, always like just your worth. Ask for what you want.
Yes.
And I could be getting higher because there's some people who are like, this is what I want and I'm not willing to take less.
Sure.
And some companies do have the money and they have the budget and they accept that. And with others, you sort of have to like tiptoe. You're like, okay, they trying to give me this much. It depends on where you are in your life. If you feel like, you know what, I just want my foot in the door and I'll take whatever amount they give me so that I can get into it and then build from there.
Sure.
Do that. If you're like, I absolutely cannot take this, then great, because you know your worth.
Sure.
Also do that. But yeah, and that's sort of why I want to, not, the pivot is also for finances because, I mean, the money is better as a marketing manager.
Sure.
But also just because I feel like I've done it, man. Like I'm a social media manager that I've done so many clients and brands and NGOs. Well, it's only 2 NGOs, but I always just feel like, it's time to move on now.
I love
But
how
maybe
you challenge
let
yourself.
me win an award first.
Yes, award winning.
I want to
see
win
it.
a lorry first.
Okay.
Then we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really love how you are big on don't focus on the money a lot.
Yeah.
Look at your
Especially in this field,
circumstances.
girl.
Yes.
It's hard. It is hard.
I love how you're like, look at your circumstances and look at what you're trying to do, which is why I think it's always important to have sort of a career vision board, how you want to map up your career life. You don't
Definitely.
have to be too sure, but also look at what's important in this season. Is it money or is it skill? Because again, once you get skill, no one can take away skill away from you. Then you can always accumulate resources over time. You can improve your network
Absolutely.
over time and all of that. So I really love that. And then in closing, what is the season of your life?
This season is letting go and letting God. Child.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How are you speaking to me?
It's just letting go and letting God. I will say I've been in a bit of a funk, like transitioning into, like, I love my job, but I
Sure.
do find it a bit hard at times. But I'm just in a season where I'm like, you know what? You got me here, God. So
Carry me.
carry me. Like, literally, take me through it all. Like, I pray every morning. I'm just like, I just want to do my best.
Sure.
Yeah, so this season of my life is just letting go and letting God.
Oh, love that. I love that. Thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Thank
I hope when
you.
we come back in another season, we'll have that award and the title will be
Yes.
Marketing Manager. And that's on
Absolutely.
period. Thank you so much
Thank
to everybody at
you.
home. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you learned something because for me, I really learned how it's important to flow. It's important to be hands-on, search, knock on those doors. You would never know who's waiting for you. Because sometimes we think there's no opportunity, but the opportunity is on the other side of fear. It's on the
Yeah.
other side of asking. Ask for help.
Absolutely.
Ask your friends, your family to say, hey guys, this is what I have. I need help. I need a job. You never know who's that destiny helper, who's holding the key to your next door. So don't hesitate to ask. Do not forget to be light and love. And always remember, you are never alone. You are always gracefully anchored. Happy Employment
Absolutely. I love that.
Wednesday. Cheers, guys.
Bye.